What every young graduate should know. As a young graduate, I had dreams and expectations of having a good job which would enable me meet my needs. No sooner did I settle on my first job did I realize something was not adding up. I did not have enough money to spend on bills and rent. I had a good position at work, at least, being in charge of a department, but I had nothing to show for it. I even had myself asking whether anyone out there would ever admire the life I was living as a result of my title at work, or even congratulate me that I had bought myself a good gift as a result. I was not any role model of success to anyone, and the body language could tell. Thoughts rushed within me and questions of why I'm to struggle going to the university were alive. Whenever I went, whenever I went to withdraw my limited salary from the bank, I felt small and confused. When I queued at the bank, I started noticing that those people who hardly had basic education were taking long at the teller as big deposits were being made. I also noticed that those bank attendants who had not attended college were living large as I struggled. I felt the world was unfair. This humiliation of going to withdraw my little salary, waiting long on queues, weighed down on my mind. By and by, I started telling myself I had everything to lose as a graduate and that I had to do something about it. In the meantime, I even earned myself a promotion at work, but as others were celebrating their own promotions, I was not excited. I had understood that no matter which position I took up the ladder, I would not get enough to go round. I had to look for a better paying job, which, which which was quite far from my first station. As I traveled all the way, I was convinced that I'll do the interview well, and there was no doubt in my mind. Despite the many candidates who attended the interview, I was convinced the position was mine. I got my appointment letter after only 1 week. I was enjoying the job for 2 years, but still I experienced the void. I didn't look forward to further promotion, and I knew it was a matter of time for me to quit. I had lost all interest to go to work as I dragged myself on. Please subscribe to my channel, like and share with friends. I started reading self-help books on how to start own business. As much as I knew I needed to start one, I was not clear on what I had to settle for. I could see myself in this big, vague business, but I did not understand which one. I only know by that time there were many Asian families doing big shops. My dissatisfaction went a notch higher one day when my mom came visiting. I knew she had noted I was struggling, but I never got to discuss this problem with her. Instead, I put up here that all was okay, but deep inside I was dying when I realized I could not buy her goodies as was expected of me. I resolved that this survival situation of limited resources was not for me. The fact that I was aware of my limitations then, I could not discuss such matters with her. It was my life and my expectations, and that I am the only one who had to decide to do something about it. My family background had been great because though dad had a small full-time job, mom was doing well at the farm. In fact, I realized very early that all the fee for my siblings and I was coming from the farm business. I cannot forget to say here that we were trained to work at the farm alongside farm hands whenever we closed school while still adolescents. We never lacked at these we never lacked, and these two affected my decisions in very serious way. I know for sure my upbringing made a whole difference in my decisions as an adult. Guilt of how my family would judge my decision to quit my job was killing me. Even to open up about my frustrations, I didn't think they would understand. I took a while to make a major decision, and I was getting to breaking point. How would my parents take it considering they had sacrificed so much for me? And I wasted their resources only to become a failure? And I not chosen this degree on my own? I was completely lost and frustrated. One thing was clear: I had to quit. If I decided to stay, I would have lived a very miserable life in order to protect my family. Revealing my decision was not easy because I feared they would think something was not right with my thinking. Or worse still, I could have been very mentally sick. I was between a rock and a hard place. If I never made a decision on the way forward, I would have broken down. Depression is real when the mind whispers things to you and you give reasons why you cannot do anything. I want to state here that there is nothing wrong with being educated to the highest level in the world, but attaching great financial gain is very wrong. I find myself almost apologizing to many friends when I advise young jobless graduates to think of alternative ways of creating jobs. You see, like many of them, I had thought and dreamt of great life in employment, but they are dying to secure that position. No sooner do some of them get employed than they get very dissatisfied too. Let me add here that not all jobs are disappointing. If you land on one that gives you satisfaction, thank goodness, you are one of the lucky ones. I strongly believe that those jobless graduates and school dropouts have a part to play in job creation. I am not suggesting here that job creation is easy, but remember, nothing good comes of easy options. Taking control over one's life instead of waiting for elusive employment is advisable. There are many jobless graduates counting decades, waiting to be absorbed into the job market, but no one has offered them any. This is a gross miscalculation on their part. Most of them who have parents who can support them establish businesses have no plan at at all. Those whose parents cannot afford startup capital, keep on waiting. Personal initiative works miracles even in the absence of startup capital. I strongly believe attitude has something to do with how some graduates think. Some are too shy to do small income generating activities because they care about what people will say. My take is that everyone must take responsibility of how they want to live and stop thinking of being judged or mocked by friends and relatives. It is better to suffer mockery having a life you have created for yourself than to suffer shame depending on others. Attitude is everything. Stop giving power to onlookers who may laugh at your small venture or errand. One of these good days, they will admire you as you become their perfect mentor. In part 2 of Starting Business, I shall discuss the challenges and the disappointments. I can only advise that one doesn't have to know everything to start something. You cannot prepare enough to avoid problems along the way, but the benefits outweigh the challenge.